Hi everybody, this is Amy. I'm from the Hamilton Lane Library, and I'm back again this winter with my Soups On series, which is a monthly winter series where in December, January, and February, I'm showing you guys how to make some different soup recipes that I love, tried and true, ones that I make over and over again. I'm a big soup person, so you will find a lot of soup in my home throughout the winter season. And one thing I love about soup is that, of course, you know, it saves well. You can put it into portion containers, freeze it, bring it for work lunches. It just such a versatile grouping of food is the soup. You know, you can make almost anything into soup, like I'm going to show you today. It's January, and it is cold, and it is icy, and I want a real stick to your ribs, meal in a bowl kind of soup today. Now, I know that most of you have probably had beef stroganoff before, which is the typical egg noodles, beef, a gravy, mixed with the sour cream, some parsley on top, mushrooms, which is a delicious dish, but did you know you can make it into a soup? That is what we're gonna do today. Super easy, and this goes fast, guys. You know, you're not gonna be standing at the stove for a very long time at all. It's quick. Tastes great and makes for great leftovers. I think all you would need with a bowl of this is maybe a piece of baguette, maybe a side salad if you'd want to do that. But it's really a full meal in a bowl. You know, you've got your meat, your starch, your vegetables, that delicious sour cream gravy broth. It's just delightful. So for this recipe, you do need a pound and a half of either flank steak or sirloin. Today I have sirloin, and I've already browned that off, and we'll go over to the stove in a little bit to start to put all of this together. But I did want to talk to you about onions and how to cut one, because I know that onions can be intimidating to people. I know that using knives in the kitchen can be intimidating to people. So just a real quick touch on, the best way to cut an onion, for the best way to dice an onion, because we're dicing this onion. So, you want to peel off some of your outer layers of skin here. And then you've got like your root down here that's kind of fuzzy, and then like your little pointy top here. We are going to slice right through the center of this, okay? So you're going to take your chef's knife, slice through, got your two halves. I'm going to cut off this little top part that pokes out, but I'm going to keep this little fuzzy stem here intact, okay? Because that's going to hold the whole thing together while we're cutting it. I think sometimes people make the mistake of chopping both ends off of the onion. Then your onion's going to slide everywhere. It's going to come apart in your hands. Just as easy to keep this together so your onion doesn't fall apart. Of course, as we all know, onion has layers, and so a lot of the work is already done for us here because we've got cuts in here already. But to make a dice, you're going to want to use a chef's knife, and we're going to make 2 vertical lines through the side, as far back as you can get it. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be all the way back. Be careful while you're doing this, but just 2 little slices. So now we've kind of made more cuts in our onion. I'm going to take the chef's knife here, and then I'm going to cut all across here, okay? This is kind of too big of a knife for this job, but we'll make do. So you make cuts across there, and then if you just run your onion right along here, watching your fingers if knives make you nervous. Look at this, you get this perfect dice. Super simple, that's exactly what you want. We will do the same to this other side, cutting off that little top there, peeling off this first layer of skin. Nobody wants that in their soup or anywhere else, but I will, hot tip here, if you keep all of your vegetable scraps as you make things, maybe in a big 5-gallon or 1-gallon freezer bag, you know, I'll throw these into a bag. I'll throw celery tops and bottoms into a bag, carrot scraps, parsley stems, all of that stuff. Throw it in the freezer. When your freezer bag is full, you can either buy a rotisserie chicken and make a chicken stock out of that, or you can just use it to make a really nice veggie stock. Onion or mushroom stems, just any vegetable you're cooking with. Throw it in a bag, throw it in the freezer all together, and you can have really nice stock on hand that's homemade. Which is nice because you have control over the ingredients and the salt. Okay, we've diced this up. So now we're going to move over to the stove and we're going to put this soup together. Snappy. Won't take any time at all. Hey everybody. Okay, we are over at the stove now. Now, I told you before that I did already brown my steak here. Little bite-sized pieces is what you want, and you want it thin. So slice it on the bias, as thin as you can get it. You know, make sure these are little bits of steak, because these are going in a soup, you know. These aren't meant to be huge hunks of steak that you're eating. I took the steak out with a slotted spoon, because what I want to show you is that I kept all that steak juice in the bottom of the pan, and that is just beefy liquid gold. Okay, so you do not want to get rid of that. That is going to add so much flavor to this soup. I also just melted a about tablespoon and a half of butter in here, and this is on medium high heat. What we're going to do now, add that onion we chopped. It's perfect. 8 ounces of Baby Bella mushrooms. If you don't have Baby Bellas, you can use button, cremini, shiitake, I mean, whatever. Use whatever sliced mushrooms you like, whatever you have. There is no wrong mushroom to use in this recipe. So we're going to stir to combine there. Let me turn this heat up just a little bit. Now we're going to add garlic. We're going to add 4 cloves of garlic. I cheat when it comes to garlic, and I know a lot of people, the garlic purists, would say that I should use a clove and smash the clove and dice the clove and mince the clove. I don't want to do that. So I buy the pre-minced garlic. Half a teaspoon of this stuff equals 1 clove of garlic. So we need 4 cloves, so I'm going to go in 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks perfect to me. I am an eyeballer. If that makes you nervous, you know, of course measure things if you feel like you need to, but you know, baking is a science. I feel like cooking savory is more experimentation and just to your taste and what you like. So, you know, do what you like. Some of these mushrooms are kind of big. I'm going to sort of just break these up with my little wooden spoon here. I like to use a wooden spoon at this stage because it scrapes really nicely in the bottom of the pan, and you are not going to, you know, you're not using metal or anything that's going to hurt the bottom of the pan, because what we're looking for here is a little bit of color on this, a little bit of softness on this. Just a couple of minutes is really all it needs. It, you know, like I said, this comes together quickly when you get things going. While this is browning, I'll talk a little bit about some of the other things we're using in this recipe. So this does take 6 cups of beef broth or beef stock. I mixed mine up here already in this pitcher. Now, the brand that I love the best, if you're not making it homemade, don't buy it in a carton, don't buy it in a jar. Please buy this Better Than Bouillon stuff. It is so delicious. It's the best. It is salty, so you know, watch your salt in the other areas of your cooking, because it does have a good bit of salt in it, but it is just such a good depth of flavor. And a teaspoon of this stuff makes 1 cup of water. So I needed 6 cups, so I used 2 teaspoons in here. Just mixed it up with some warm water, used my whisk, and that was super, super easy. Have it just ready to go. You know, keep your steak on the side. There's also Worcestershire sauce in here. So that, I'm a Lee and Perrin snob, but you can use any kind. Let's say you're out of Worcestershire in your fridge, throw in some steak sauce, A1 or whatever you got. Same depths of flavors, same beefy notes. At this stage, we are bubbling pretty well. And this recipe does call for 1/2 cup of dry white wine. I've got some Chardonnay here. It's gonna, yep, that should do it. And we are gonna turn this up to a simmer. And we want to reduce this by half. So give me a couple minutes, we'll be right back, and I will show you the next part of this recipe when this is reduced. Okay guys, we're back. Our mixture here of that beef juice that was left over, some butter, mushrooms, onion, and garlic, white wine has reduced by about half. The smell is pretty darn nice, you guys. At this point, I'm going to add in 5½ cups of my stock. Almost all of it. That stopped that simmer quickly, didn't it? Yeah, that's good at the bottom there. I'm going to add in my tablespoon of Worcestershire. Like I said, I'm just a eyeballing gal. And we are going to add in our egg noodles. So, egg noodles are traditional in this recipe. I wouldn't use any other kind of pasta. I think that would be strange, like to do a, you know, like a flour dough pasta. I think the egg noodles is really what you need. And I need 8 ounces of noodles, so half of this big bag. So once again, I'm just, you know, throw those right in there. That looks about like half to me. And we are going to get this back up to a simmer. Let these noodles cook. Add in a couple more little things. And then I'll meet you back here in a few minutes. Hi guys, we're back. My noodles are about al dente, so I'm going to just put together the last little components here of the soup. You know how I saved back the 1/2 cup of beef stock here? What I'm going to do is mix 1/4 cup of just plain flour in with it. This is called making a slurry, and this is meant to thicken things. So we want this to be not so brothy, we want this to be more of a creamy type of soup. So doing this, a little of the broth is going to really thicken this up nicely. You want to get all those lumps out, you know, give it a good turn in the bowl. I think that's nice. You can do this with cornstarch too, water, other, you know, just to make a thickening agent, essentially. Going to slowly pour that in. Get that all mixed in. That is, yeah, that's going to thicken things up quite a bit. And this is the point where I'm also going to add some sour cream. So I would recommend using a full-fat regular sour cream. I don't like low-fat dairy, period. I think it's gross. I think it's full of chemicals. You know, the amount of cream and butters and things that you use in a whole recipe, once divided out into servings, it's not that much, guys. Just use the real thing. Do us all a favor and use the real thing. Oh, there's one more thing I wanted to say. After I had put my broth and noodles in and I was letting the noodles cook, I tasted my broth and I found it to be really salty. So I did add about 2 extra cups of just plain water to this because much too salty. So keep that in mind to check for that. Okay, so now I'm going to add in about half a cup or so of sour cream. We're going to stir this to combine. This is going to be really, really good, you guys. Very hot, very comforting. I probably won't have this problem because of the extra liquid that I added, the water, but I will say this, a soup like this, or really any soup that you're using pasta in, the pasta is going to continue to soak up the liquid if you have it left over. So, you know, you can eat it as is when it's a little thicker and more like a stew or just, you know, a regular stroganoff, or you can add a little extra broth to it or water to loosen it up a little bit if you'd rather have it that, you know, soupy consistency. Okay, that's it. I'm going to bowl this up and meet you over at the counter. I'll show you the end result. Okay, guys, so here is our bowled soup here. At the very end of the last segment, I did want to mention that what you do at the very end is you add your cooked steak back in. So I just poured that back in the pot, very end, after you do the sour cream and the, you know, make the slurry and all of that. Just throw that cooked steak back in there so you can see here we've got these beautiful steak pieces, the mushrooms, the egg noodles, this really silky broth. To finish this up, you know, I'm not shy. I'm probably going to do some of that. And I'm probably going to do a little parsley garnish because I like it. I think it, you know, lends a little bit of brightness to the dish, just to, you know, you just get some nice flat leaf parsley, run your knife through it. How's about that? I think that is a delightful cold weather offering that would please anyone. You know, like I said, serve it with a piece of baguette and you have got yourself a whole meal. Look, greens included. You don't even need that salad. There's green on here. I'm a genius. All right, guys, I'll see you next time for the next soup installment. Thank you. See you later.